What's up, everybody? It's Rob here. I'm in the Tesla again, and I'm actually on my way to go look at a real estate property to see if it's going to be a good investment. But I wanted to talk about, what actually happened on the market on Friday and what to expect for, the upcoming week. This week we actually snapped a 3-week streak of gains for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And if you watch my last video, you'll see, I started talking about how a lot of this recession chatter was coming into the market. And, we saw that in the price action this week where, we had our weekly gain streak snapped. Coming into Friday morning, overnight news, President Trump, he announced tariffs of 100% on pharmaceutical companies, home good companies, and heavy trucks, unless those companies are actively building manufacturing plants in the United States. Now, those tariffs are expected to start on October 1st. So we actually opened up a little red on Friday, but the markets bounced back because later in the day, the administration came out and said that those latest pharmaceutical tariffs don't actually apply to countries with negotiated trade deals. And then after the market closed, we got some more tariff news where the administration said that they were thinking about putting on tariffs on foreign electronics based on the number of chips in each device that they have. And, the market chatter also was about a government shutdown. So October 1st would be, the first full day of the government shutdown. And for this not to happen, Congress has to pass 12 annual spending bills to fund different government agencies, and the president has to sign off on it. But the problem is that, Democrats and Republicans are not agreeing, so we might actually see a government shutdown. Now, I wouldn't say this is something really to be that worried about. We've seen this in the past. And, it is a headline that, some people get scared of, and, it can move the market, but, we've seen this time and time again. So, don't fear about that, but definitely something to be, on the lookout for. And, once again, more recession headlines are coming out and chatter. So, watch for some sectors to get a pullback. But, with the market getting bubbly, AI names could continue to run. And I would also watch out for nuclear stocks and quantum stocks to keep running, as, the bubble can be isolated. So we can see, AI, nuclear, and quantum continue to run while other sectors get hit pretty hard. So, one of the names I'm looking at right now, for example, we noticed such a big run-up is OKLO. OKLO is the ticker symbol. You also look at the AI names, NVIDIA, Palantir. So, we could continuously see those to keep run. Also, midday on Friday, there was a little news headline play. If you were quick enough on the options chain or to the news, you actually could have made on the dailies, the option contracts that are expiring on that day. Some of them went up 50,000%. But if you were to go a week out, at the money contract still went up like 6,000%. So the news with EA, right, Electronic Arts, the video game company, they actually popped 15% intraday because they got a buyout deal to go private for $50 billion. And that money's going to be coming from Silver Lake and the Saudi PIF investors. And this would be the largest leverage buyout ever. And the news came out at a market cap of $43 billion. So, you got to be quick on the options chain. And, you don't necessarily have time to do the math. Okay, well, it's at a 43. They're getting bought for 5 or for 50. What will the price go to, right? We're going to do another video on the options chains and how to analyze that. But I just wanted people to know that, just because the buyout deal was for $50 billion doesn't mean the price will automatically go there. Because the stocks actually trade below that. Because there is, a chance that the deal doesn't go through. So the market prices that in. So, rather than being at a $50 billion market cap, right now I think it's sitting at a 48 billion. So always remember that, if you're trying to trade, the news headlines where there's a buyout deal, always remember that it's not going to go to, the exact buyout price before the deal closes. Also, we had another name, Boeing. So the FAA came out and they're expected to lift a production cap on the 737 MAX, but the time is unclear of when that's going to happen. But that popped the stock 5% and was another news headline play for the day. At the same time, right, Intel stock popped 5% because they had overnight news, and they ran to $35. But there was a rumor of Apple taking a equity stake. So, I wanted people to know that, that's obviously a very heavily watched name right now, Intel, with the government taking an equity position. And they have earnings coming up in like a month. And I just wanted people to know that they have to watch out that, the stock could come down heading into earnings. And then once they post the earnings report, it could go down further. So just be careful of that at the same time. And maybe after the earnings report comes out, that would be, an opportunity to get in, right? And then probably at that earnings report, maybe you'll see analysts really start to, upgrade their price targets and, could present an interesting entry opportunity. So that's what went down on the market on Friday, and some things to, kind of be looking at for next week, for the market open. Right now, I'm going to go check out this real estate property. I'll take some videos for you guys so you can see, what we're looking at. And then I'll report back to you guys on, if we're going to do the deal or not. So take it easy, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace. All right, guys, here we are at the house taking a look. It's got this nice backyard and a fence already set up, which is good. Just looking at the exterior right now. Make sure the bones of the house look pretty decent. I mean, the windows look to be in good shape. You always want to check the bones of the house, making sure you have to put up a lot of initial capital for anything too big here. It's also got this nice little screened in patio here. I mean, clearly this is gonna have to be fixed, but it'd be nice to put some chairs out there, sit out, relax. Three-bedroom, two-bath house. The ask from the seller is $300,000 right now. It's got about, I think it is like 1,600 square feet from the first floor to the basement here. Needs some renovations, but see, that's good, because what you can do is you can come and get a good price on the property, put some little bit of love into it and work, increase the value of the house, and you get instant equity in the property. It's got the shed, backyard, right? HVAC unit right there. All right, there's the outside of the house.